Hi, I'm Kerry Howard, Chief Director of Cleveland's Department of Public Safety. Today we're going to be having a conversation with Cleveland Division of Fire Interim Chief Eric Burchick and Executive Officer Anthony Luke. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good, sir.
All right.
Good, sir.
Well, we start off talking about, we're going to talk about first the leadership changes that we've seen in the Division of Fire. We're also going to talk about employment opportunities and provide some general updates, okay? So why don't we talk about the leadership change? Chief Burchick, how did you come into the position of Interim Chief of Division of Fire?
So I was serving as the executive officer like Chief Luke is now, and former Fire Chief Angelo Cavillo retired. And so went through a process with you involved, and I was selected to be the interim chief and sworn in on Friday, May 13th, actually, at 5 p.m. Wow. So it's been a couple months now.
Okay. Chief Luke?
Prior to this administration, I was serving as the Chief of Staff. And similar to Chief Burchick, when Chief Cavillo left, I moved over to support division operations and to support Chief Burchick.
Okay. How did your position of Chief of Staff prepare you to be the executive officer?
Oh, you deal with something different every day.
Yeah.
In that position, I'm dealing with dispatch, payroll, information services, personnel issues. So it's just the crisis of the morning. You deal with a wide variety of situations where it prepares you for any position in administration.
All right. Chief Burchick, talk to us about your career. You're coming up through the ranks of Division of Fire, and then how did you, being the former exec, prepare you to be interim chief?
Okay, so my career began, I took the civil service examination in 1992, went through the process, walked into the Fire Training Academy on Monday, June 1st, 1993. Our academy was quite a bit shorter than it is now. I believe we graduated in late August of 1993, and I went to my first assignment. We have an apprenticeship program, the Division of Fire, and you have 3 assignments until you reach your last one, which will be the 3rd one, and you stay there until you transfer on your own volition. So I went to ladder 23. I spent the remainder of 1993 there through 94. My son's at ladder 23 now, his first move. So my second move was to Engine 4, St. Ignatius area, 32nd Lorraine. Busiest year I ever had in my career. Smoke detector program was still in its infancy. It started in 1992. Fires were not caught the way they're caught now, so it was an extremely busy year. My last move was to Engine 17 by League Park, and I stayed there until 2000, and then I took the promotional test and was promoted to lieutenant. I went to Engine 36 when I became lieutenant in Mount Pleasant, where we had the ice cream social Saturday, and spent almost 8 years there. Very busy over there at the time, but probably the best time of my career was at Engine 36. It was the group of guys that we had there together. The diversity in that station was amazing. It was a really solid core group of guys. Eventually made captain in 2007, and I was a paramedic at the time, so I transferred into the fire investigation unit, but I had to wait for the police academy to start in October. So I believe it was like February, so I was assigned to Battalion 2, which encompassed all of our rescue squads. So I would be the paramedic officer on the rescue squads. Went to the police academy in October. That was no joke. I was 38 years old. Okay. Still, I was in good shape, but everybody else there is in their 20s. Yeah. Did very well there. Came out, went into the fire investigation unit, and I stayed there until 2012 when I made battalion chief. I spent some time in the storeroom at headquarters. Eventually went out to Battalion 3 as a shift battalion commander. Came down to headquarters here and there to help Chief Cavillo then. Was temporarily promoted to assistant chief 2 days before the pandemic in March of 2020, and the pandemic was declared. Yeah. And you know the rest of that story. Yeah. So I was chief of operations at the time, and Chief Cavillo and then executive officer were not in lockstep, and so he moved him to operations and installed me as executive officer.
All right.
So, and that's that's where I'm at. That's where I came over from there.
That's a lot of experience, and then now we even have a pandemic under our belt. So I mean, the Division of Fire is in good hands with great leadership. Chief Luke, how has your career prepared you for this position? Walk us through it.
I was hired in February of 1994, February 14th, Valentine's Day, entered the academy.
Oh, wow.
Graduated that summer, went to Station 7 on 32nd and Woodland. Good time there. That's actually a station where my grandfather used to take me when I was a kid.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool starting there. From there, I went to Station 30 over 101st and St. Clair. Served there for a year, and then went to Station 10, 102nd and Chester. 6 months after there, I had taken a promotional test. I got promoted. I was sent to Station 6 on 172nd and Harvard.
All right.
Spent a few months there, and then I transferred back to Station 10 as an officer
Okay.
on Tower 10. Spent about 6 years there. Really learned a lot there. Serving in the Chester University Circle area, you get the Cleveland Clinic, Case Western Reserve, Little Italy. It's a very diverse area.
Yeah.
A lot of runs. That unit runs is like a pivot unit, runs all the way north, runs all the way south. So it's a busy time. And then from there, I was promoted to captain. I went down to the Bureau of Communications, which is basically an adjunct to the Fire Dispatch Center, Communication Center.
Okay.
Served there for a while, learned a lot there, learned about communications, learned more how the fire department works. Got promoted there to battalion chief. I was approached by the chief at that time. He saw that I had some skill sets that he thought would be beneficial in establishing an information technology unit within the division. At that time, the information technology function was scattered all over the division. He wanted to consolidate it into one unit. So I created that unit, ran that unit for a while. Then I was promoted to temporary assistant chief about 4 or 5 years after that. And then Chief Burchek asked me to come over as his executive officer when he was put in.
Okay. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm listening to you guys talk about your careers, and it seems like you know the city well. I'm sure you've worked with a lot of young firefighters. What are you looking for now as we are hiring for the Division of Fire? What makes someone a good candidate, Chief Burchett?
Somebody that understands that this is a dangerous job. It's not a 9 to 5 for the most part. Somebody that understands that there might be sleepless nights and they're willing to accept that. Somebody that's dedicated to the city.
Yeah.
You know, that's important to me. Unfortunately, we don't have residency anymore, but you know, it is what it is. Somebody that's dedicated to servantship. I mean,
Okay.
people need help, and it may not be, you may not perceive it as an emergency, but they do.
Okay.
So we need professionals, we need people willing to work.
Okay. So is it fair to say that it's important to hire people who know and love this city? Is that fair?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Chief Burchett, what do you think? I mean, I'm sorry, Chief Luke, what are we looking for in a candidate?
Yeah, I would mirror what Chief Burchek said. Service-oriented, energetic, open-minded. Many people, when they look at the fire service or public safety overall, the word comes up, you know, you're born to this, or, you know, you always knew you wanted to do this. That's not actually true. I never knew I wanted to be a firefighter.
Okay.
When I took the test, it was just because one of my friends had taken the test, and I was just providing transportation. Didn't have anything to do, so I took the test. After that, I didn't score as well as my ego at the time told me that I wanted to, so
Okay.
I kind of was placing it to the side. But I had some mentors at the time that told me, you really need to focus on this. You really need to focus on this. So I did. I think I scored like 444 on that exam. And I was lucky enough to be called in the second class off that list. And from the day I hit the academy, I knew I made the right decision.
Yeah.
It is just a feeling of potential in front of you. There is the potential to do anything that you like. If you like to dive, we have places for that. If you like to be physical activity, if you like to work with technology, if you like photography, if you like, you know, police officer work, Chief Burchett served in the fire investigation unit as actual police officer.
Yeah.
So the fire service offers a wide variety of opportunity and potential, and no 2 days are the same.
Wow.
So prior to this, I was working in a warehouse, 9-to-5 job, monotonous, but from the day I stepped in the academy.
Okay.
And let me add one thing to that.
Sure.
We took the same test in '92. That was the same test. We took it in the convention center, and there was nearly 5,000 people that took that test.
Wow.
So it just speaks to how things have shifted in society. Back then, the fire jobs were coveted. They were hard to get, and everybody wanted one. Everybody wanted to be a fireman, or a policeman even, for that matter. And now you see what our numbers are now. So we need people to re-engage and get interested in this type of work, and it's very rewarding and satisfying.
You both mentioned in your careers about diversity on the job, diversity of the community. The last 2 classes have been pretty diverse. How important is diversity, not just in race, gender, and age, but life experience? How important is that to being a good firefighter?
Well, I think our main product to the citizens is service. We don't make widgets, we don't make anything else. We provide service. So the citizens, we can provide a better service if we can reflect the citizens that we're responding to. Just a simple thing, somebody in having a medical emergency, they're more apt to open up to somebody and tell them what has actually happened instead of being apprehensive if they can connect to you quickly.
Okay.
So it's always good to have diversity, and also diversity in thought, diversity in backgrounds, because we're stronger when we have different ideas coming from different perspectives. We don't all need to come from the same perspective.
Gotcha. Chief?
I echo Chief Luke's comments. Diversity in thought, I think, is important, what he said.
Yeah.
And I think him and I have similar thoughts and different thoughts, and we're working through that.
Okay.
I respect this man. He's highly intelligent. He's very good for the division. I echo that people need to have an open mind on police and fire department, any safety service, EMS as well, because you're going to come across all walks of life and all schools of thought, different cultures. So.
Good. So I've heard that we have had a firefighter who was pretty low on the list, right, but graduated top of the academy, right? So does the being at the top of the list, does that guarantee you to be a good firefighter? Can you explain that?
I think Chief Luke and I share this. I think that there's a civil service list. We know what the process is. You take the exam, you take the physical portion of the test. There's a list generated, and it's rank ordered. We should rank order when they leave the academy. That's when we should rank order them. Do you share that thought?
100%.
Make it competitive, huh?
Well, it motivates you, and just because you're number 1 on the list doesn't mean that you're going to be the number 1 cadet or the number 1 firefighter. It's just that's just a process.
Okay.
So I would champion that we rank them when they leave, when they graduate, and that individual would be ranked number 1.
It's a great idea.
I'm the perfect example of that. When I was hired, the city was under a consent decree. So without that consent decree, they would have never got down to my number.
Would have never hired him.
44.
Wow.
And now look at them.
But when I went to the academy, I graduated the number 1 cadet.
Okay.
So I phrase it similar to one of the most trusted people in anyone's lives is your physician.
Yes.
You have no idea where they graduated in their class.
Right.
You have no idea what grades they got in the medical school. All you know is they're qualified.
Okay.
Our fire academy tells you every graduate coming out of there is qualified.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's something we can talk about later, maybe.
Yeah, I'd love to have that conversation. Recently we have had some fire fatalities, right? We've had some homes that have resulted in the loss of life, and we know that that's difficult to recover from, both for the family and for the firefighters, right? It impacts the firefighters. What are some things that people can do in their homes to help them prepare for such an incident, a fire in the home? What are some things people can do to even prevent it?
Smoke alarms, smoke alarms, smoke alarms.
Smoke alarms, huh?
Predominantly when you see a fire fatality or even a bad structure fire, that house did not have a smoke alarm or had a non-working smoke alarm.
Correct.
Wow.
Smoke alarms save lives, period.
Okay.
That $7 device is the most important device that we need to get into every residence in the city of Cleveland.
And you said the $7 device, right? How can they get a smoke alarm from you all? Do you give
Any
them away?
resident of the city of Cleveland can call American Red Cross. The number is 216-536, let me see what the number is.
361.
361-5535, that's the number, 361-5535. They take your information and then they send the application to fire with the smoke alarms, and we distribute it to whatever neighborhood, to that fire company, and they go out and they install them.
They will come to the house
And install them. Right, and now we're giving away 10-year alarms. So the battery is good for 10, the alarm's good for 10 years.
Yep.
We started this program, this Sound the Alarm, they call it now, the Red Cross. It's a nationwide program that we started here in Cleveland in '92, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
We've put in almost over 100,000 smoke alarms, I believe,
Yes.
is what we talked about. Over 100,000 smoke alarms. We've probably put smoke alarms, likely have put it in the same house numerous times. For, they get broken, they get removed, somebody else moves in, they call the number, and here we are again, putting them up again.
Wow. So, I know that with we know that with holidays, right, comes different types of issues. Christmas brings the Christmas trees, July 4th brings the fireworks, Labor Day's coming up. Any safety tips for Labor Day?
Grills.
Yeah, grills.
Grilling safety.
Okay.
We get families that go out there, either have grills on their porches for whatever reason, or grills will be too close to the house. There's just some common sense safety things that you do when you're using a grill. Keep it away from the house or any other flammables. Watch children as they're playing around it, because you get a lot of burn injuries from them running into grills.
Okay.
And also the grill master, who's ever on the grill, watch that they should have an apron on, and tightly fit an apron and not loose clothes.
Okay.
Because we always get injuries from that. It's just like lack of knowledge injuries. You're having fun with your family, and you just, for that quick second, you just forget.
Have a fire extinguisher available as well. Can you
Yes.
guys grill?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
I can burn up a little bit.
Okay, so we have firefighters and grill kings telling us how to be safe when we're grilling. Can't get much more expert than that.
Oh sir.
If folks are looking to join the Division of Fire, how can they go about? We have applications open right now for testing, right?
Correct.
So how can they, how can they join the team? How can they start the process?
Yeah, applications opened up the first of this month. Applications will be open to the end of this month.
Okay.
They can go to the job link, clevelandohio.gov/jobs,
Okay.
and it will link them to videos that show them how to register for the test and sign up. And it also gives them instructions and where to get the tutoring for the test, because the city of Cleveland offers free preparation classes for the written and the physical tests. The test is completely free. There's no charge, so that should be good. And we just urge anybody who is trying to figure out what they want to do in life and think they have an aptitude for service to citizens and their fellow citizens, give us a thought.
Do they have to have any certifications to apply?
No certifications needed, just 18 years old, valid driver's license.
18 years old, valid driver's license to be a member of the Division of Fire. High school diploma.
High
Or
school
GED.
diploma.
Or GED.
Member of the
GED.
best.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And and the process can sometimes be daunting and challenging. And I know personally, Chief Luke will take phone calls from applicants and walk them through, help them out. They'll come in with their application. We'll help them out with that. So we try and take down every roadblock that's imaginable in this process.
Okay. Good career for men and women,
Yes.
would you say?
Excellent career for men and women.
Okay.
We're showing that. 2 academies ago, we brought on 8 females. Subsequent academies, we've had at least 1 female candidate in every academy.
Okay.
Numbers are not good enough. We're working to improve that.
Yeah.
But we encourage female, male, all nationalities, all backgrounds, doesn't make a difference. The common thing is service mentality, wanting to serve the city of Cleveland.
Heart for
and
service.
Wanting and job that will give you a different adventure every day.
Okay. So if you're looking for a career with the Cleveland Division of Fire, call 216-623-5233. And if you're in need of a smoke alarm, call 216-361-5535. Any closing remarks, gentlemen?
That's it. It just join us. I mean, you'll find out that the fire service is a family, and everyone says that, and it's true. This is a family.
Fire equals family, and just hope the citizens of Cleveland, you know, we're going into flu, COVID season. Stay safe.
All right.
Have any questions related to safety, give us a call.
Stay safe, and keep in mind, I'm talking to you. Join the family, 216-623-5233. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.